Hey y'all, it's Tasha. We are back with a Married at First Sight review, season 12, episode 12 this week. I know y'all can hear my voice. I've been on a struggle bus, okay? Please excuse the voice, but I still wanted to get the video out and didn't want to wait too late. But the way this pollen is set up, try to take your girl out. So excuse the voice. Hopefully next week we are back in business because I can't take much more of this myself. Okay. So we're going to make it through this video as best as we can. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's jump into the episode. It wasn't a ton going on this week, so let's just jump right in and talk about it. So Bree and Vince opened the episode reminiscing about their anniversary and, you know, how he did such a great job on the boat and the video and things like that. And then she starts asking him, you know, well, what would he want to do on dates? And he starts off this laundry list of things he wants to do. Cigar lounge, go-kart, massages, riding ATVs, sporting events, video gaming, the zoo, zip lining, the aquarium, go to Timbuktu. Like, Vincent, there's a whole pandemic going on outside. Calm down. You better enjoy a movie at home with a glass of wine and call it a night. Sir, this is team too much. So he says, you know, it's just a couple. I'm like, a couple of what? Couple of years? My goodness. Okay. So then Eric and Virginia talk about their date and the plane ride. And, you know, Eric is just getting on my nerves almost immediately. Like the way he's been acting the past few episodes, almost immediately when he comes on my screen, my eyes start rolling and I'm like, here we go again. Cause I already know he is going to be up with the shenanigans. And he pretty much starts with the shenanigans immediately. So he talks about the dogs and basically how his dog is better than Virginia dog. Then he says, you know, but I love him and it's not an issue. But, you know, just the way Rocky behaves is just not like, you know, he just needs to. I mean, I love you. I love the dog. Not a problem. I love it. You know, drives me crazy, y'all. Drives me crazy. But if he is this controlling over a whole dog situation, can you imagine having kids by this man and how controlling he would be? Virginia girl, keep your legs closed, honey. Keep your legs closed. So Virginia basically walks out because she gets so aggravated and so annoyed because he says that he believes the dog is in the middle of their relationship, that Rocky needs, you know, some firmness because he's in the military and he thinks, you know, Rocky just needs somebody to know, lay it on him and tell him what to do and when to do it. It's a dog. It is a 1-year-old dog. So she leaves, talks to the producers, asks what's wrong. She says that, you know, it's just hurtful to hear him talk about Rocky like that because Rocky got her through a very tough time and Eric knows that. So, of course, she's kind of taking it to heart that he's then being so hard on the dog. And I'm just like, dude, your personality is getting on my last nerves. We then see a yoga instructor come over with Clara and Ryan to help with their connection. Basically, Clara hopes that his penis gets hard enough and that he actually ends up banging her by the end of the night. Pretty much, that's what she wants this yoga to lead to. To do a number of positions, Ryan is still hella awkward, like he don't know what the point of this whole activity is. So, sorry, Clara, another failed attempt. No booty for you. All right. Virginia comes back inside and she immediately starts throwing jabs. And she was like, guess what? Me and Rocky just went for a walk without a leash. It's like she could not wait to get back home to throw that in his face because he was just talking about how Rocky is basically just not behaved enough to go out and walk around without a leash because he, you know, wants to bite people, jump on people, all this other nonsense. So Virginia was like, in your face. In your face. So funny. I was like, oh, that is so funny. So then we see a playback from the night before and they're having a pretty heated argument. He was talking about how he couldn't find her for 40 minutes. I couldn't figure out if they were together, they were separate. She went somewhere. She's supposed to come back home. Did y'all catch it? I didn't get what was going on because she said that she had went to the bar or something and went to the bathroom and that was it. I don't know. But basically his fake concern is coming off as so annoying. Like, you are not concerned. You just want to control where she is and what she's doing at all times. Like, if she did go out or if she's supposed to text you, call you or whatever, for 40 minutes. Like, you act like she was gone for 4 hours. Stop it. Oh my gosh. He gets on my nerves. He's just being such an asshole in this moment. And if I was Virginia, I would have slapped him in the face. Okay? Legit slapped him in the face. So basically he does all this, and he's basically has this vision that he has created for marriage. And I guess because the first one didn't work out like that, he is definitely going to mold this marriage to work out how he has it set in his mind. And if it ain't going that way, then he gonna be out. He is definitely acting like a full-on white male Karen in this moment. It is just ridiculous. And then to see Virginia go like completely off and that like she can't take it anymore, I was like, here for it. Like, there you go, Virginia. Stop putting up with the BS, because he's just gonna keep doing it. And then again, playing white woman Karen, he acts like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what the issue is. It's just about the dog. I'm not sure what happened here. Yes, you do know what happened. Quit playing the victim after you done pissed this child off, okay? So Eric, of course, being who he is, he just continues to act like he's the expert in, marriage and knowing how things work, because he's done this before. And I'm like, sir, you failed the first time, so you're obviously no kind of marriage expert. And basically it's like, she's free to do what she wants to do. I'm just here, to catch her and support her. What? No, you're not here to support her. You are here to change her, sir. We all see it. Cut out the foolishness, okay? We then see Jacob and Haley. They're having to talk about what happened during their awkward anniversary celebration. We know how that went. Trash. He then apologizes again for lashing out. And, this just continues to be the trend with Jacob. Let me lash out, say some off the wall stuff, and then I'm apologize for my actions. Let me lash out, let me say some crazy off the wall stuff, and then I'm going to apologize again. Like, no, at what point do we learn from the behavior and stop having to apologize over the nonsense over and over again? All you got to do is learn how to filter your mouth, or just don't say the comments, Jacob. It ain't that hard. Just stop doing that, and then we won't have to keep going round robin and saying stuff and then apologizing for it. Just cut it out. So she says she just wants them to have some fun and some light days because things have just been so heavy with them. And I definitely agree. I still don't think they're going to make it in the long run. But I truly think if they could have just let things go and flow at however pace it's going to flow and go at, that they would have been able to be in a better spot. And they may actually have had a chance, because as we see later on in the episode, they actually do have some good times and get along. So I'm just like, y'all just putting 20 on 10. Just chill out and date. Like, it ain't that serious. So Paige is at home. She gets a visit from her brother and her sister-in-law, and she says she hasn't talked to them much, so she's going to bring them up to speed. As she's talking, we can obviously hear that they knew about the baby. So she was bringing them up to speed of saying that how he had requested a divorce, and then kind of talking about that last conversation they had when they went to go play pool. And she explains to him again how she told us a couple of weeks ago, or maybe that was last week, how she feels that she has probably lost herself in the idea of marriage, but not, of course, the whole process that she was in. So she seems to be finally done with Chris and focusing on herself. But from the previews that I saw from Decision Day, I'm not quite convinced quite yet. They're still going to be with the shit. Watch. Clara looks like she's about to go away to work for a few days, and Ryan has plans to get somebody to come in and help him be a good old dog dad. Clara says it's funny he wants to do all this for Miska, but not me. She asked him how he felt about yoga, and basically he felt nothing about yoga, and they got nothing out of it. Did not end with the like Clara wanted it to. So there. But then they played this montage of all the dogs and the dogs and the dogs. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize how many dogs we had on this season. My goodness, everybody has a damn dog. Woo! So it's cute. They do this little montage of the dogs and the dads because all the wives have dogs. So they show Cookie and Vince, and he's just so cute with her, picking her up and dancing her all over the place. Sophie and Jacob, they're a work in progress because, I don't think Sophie really feeling Jacob, especially not Jacob's dog ain't really feeling Sophie. But he says, I think me and Haley need to work on us before I work on me and the dog. And I agree. Ryan says that Miska and Kayla and Clara are basically exactly the same. We all know that Eric doesn't like Rocky, although he says he does. And I don't think Rocky like Eric either. So, tit for tat, it's okay. And then they show Bentley and Chris. And Chris is like, I don't give a F about that dog. Well, I'm sure Bentley don't give a F about you either, Chris. So, y'all even. Jacob and Haley, they do go-kart racing. And they finally start to loosen up and have a little bit of fun. They're both super competitive. So, they compete against each other. And Haley actually ends up winning and gets her little trophy and rubs it in his face a little bit, you know. They almost look like a real couple. It was almost kind of cute, but they ain't gonna make it. They actually show that Chris does have a place. He's not homeless. And his mom comes over for a visit. They have dinner in her god-awful pink lipstick. She asks how Paige is doing because she's like, oh, she's just such a sweet girl. And, you know, he says that, you know, well, me and Paige don't talk. You know, she just don't be answering my calls. And, you know, she kind of only want to talk on camera. Like, oh, okay. And when he says that, his mom says, okay, and rightfully so. Like, would you expect you drop a bomb that you won't have a baby with your ex-fiance? Okay. And then he tells his mom that he asked for a divorce, and the mom acts shocked. And again, just like when Pastor Cal found out about the baby, I'm not buying that the mama did not know that this boy asked for a divorce. You know how trifling your son is. You know, quit acting like that. But he seemed to, you know, say all this stuff about Paige, but he just failed to leave out the piece of information about him acting like an asshole and leading her on and gaslighting her the whole time. He just leaves out that piece of information, and I'm just like, get your ugly face off of my TV. Okay. All right, so Vincent and Brianna then go bike riding because, you know, he had bought her a bike a few weeks ago, and they placed a bet on the bike ride. So if he wins, she has to do 15 push-ups. If she wins, he has to clean the kitchen for a week. He ends up, of course, letting her win. And she still ends up, you know, doing about 5 push-ups, and she struggled to do those. But I see you trying, Brie. But they're just so cute in this moment. I'm just so happy that Vincent looks like he's turned it around. I hope he does not revert back to being that macho, insecure dude that he was before. And he just takes things how they're coming. And I think they can really work and enjoy each other and be in there for the long haul. So Eric and Virginia come back and they talk about their argument. And he continues to act clueless like a white male Karen about what happened. And she ends up actually then starting taking the blame on what happened and blaming it on her anxiety. And I'm like, Virginia, while I'm not the biggest fan of yours either, stop it. It is his fault. Like, he is being a asshole. You have every right to fly off the handle because he's being a straight up jerk. But I know if I have to see him with all these hand movements and doing all this and all this stuff, you know, much longer on my TV, I just might lose it. Because he has to always talk with his hands, thinking that because his hands are making movements and his motions are a little bit gentle, that it then covers up the words that's actually coming out of his mouth, you know? Because I'm just trying to love you. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all. He gets on my nerves, y'all. He gets on my nerves. Because, I mean, let's get it. We all get that Virginia's young. But he is starting to be so dang on condescending when he's talking to her that is driving me crazy. I was on board with some of the stuff in the very beginning about, you know, not sleeping over at guy friends. You know, let me know where you are, things like that. Cool. But now, as of late, it's just been very, very controlling. And he is just trying to hide it between him caring. Like, no, you're not caring, dude. You want to be possessive over her and know everything that she's doing at all times. Girl, Virginia, again, keep your legs closed, honey. Keep them closed. And then they see a flashback of them having another argument, and we see Eric yelling his favorite words. Of course, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Quit using it as a threat and actually leave, Eric. We'll be fine with that. Just leave. So Paige, Bree, and Virginia, they get together and catch up. Paige says that she's moving forward. The girls seem relieved that she's finally seen the light. Bree shares how much her and Vincent are doing well, that he's exactly what it is that she needs, and they're very happy. Virginia shares that her anxiety has been high because of issues with Eric, the dog, work and everything. So she shares that she probably does need to go to therapy. And I think that will help her. I actually think that will probably help her drinking as well, because she may use her drinking as some sort of coping mechanism to either forget about the anxiety or help to live and deal with the anxiety. So I think if she gets some help, we could see a difference in her drinking as well. So I really think that I'm excited that they actually showed this conversation, and because, you know, mental health therapy, things like that can be very taboo to share out loud with people. So I'm glad that they took this opportunity to show it on the show. I know we tried to get there a little bit with Miles last season, but we really didn't make full circle. So I was happy to see it kind of come back around this time. So then we see Haley and Jacob. They cook together, and they're getting along for like their little second date in a row. So we like, okay, we see y'all. They talk about Jacob's past relationship, and honestly, the rest of the conversation, I was just like, oh, y'all are falling back into being boring again. And I don't have no notes, and I don't know what they talked about because it was boring. They then go on a double date with Vincent and Brianna to a pumpkin patch. So they share how their 1 month anniversaries had went. Haley talks about how Jacob doesn't engage much in conversations that talks about her and how she feels like she's always interviewing. And they did flash back, and it always seems like she is kind of prying and asking him about questions, but when she talks about herself, he really doesn't engage in the conversation and have, you know, questions to ask or anything to say back to it. So I get where she's coming from when they show that piece. And then they basically show Bree talking to Jacob, and then Vincent talking to Haley. I guess this is supposed to be helping them, as if now Bree and Vince are marriage champions or something. I don't know. Y'all don't know no more than they know. So I don't know what that was supposed to prove. Eric and Virginia, they're now silently cooking dinner together. And he's basically saying that he's going to need her to step it up. And I'm like, so you think you husband of the year or something? Like, you got some areas you can improve on as well. I mean, he seriously thinks because he is older, he has a stable job, he's been married before, he truly thinks he has all the answers and he knows how this marriage thing is supposed to work. And I'm like, again, you failed at it, so obviously you ain't doing something right. All right. And then they just end up kind of falling back into their same little silly, goofy pattern that they always do to cover up all of their other issues of hugging and kissing and touching. And again, not going to last, because it's just going to continue to do that basically full circle every single time of let's get on each other's nerves, and then we're gonna act like, you know, we all love each other and we love each other so much and we just love each other so much. Okay. Eric, Ryan, Jacob, and Vincent, they get together and they talk about their dog kids, and they are like in this conversation full out like these are real kids that they're talking about. It was hilarious. But again, between Eric's hand motions, y'all, and Ryan constantly, sure. Y'all really trying to make me go crazy. Y'all really trying to test my patience. Okay, y'all tap dancing on that last nerve. Oh my God, it's so annoying. But they sit here, talk about the dogs, and then they start complaining about their wives as if they've been married for years. And I'm like, okay, that's where we're going at. All right. Ryan says that he thinks Jacob can benefit from his advice because him and Clara are better than about 90% of the Married at First Sight couples. And, you know, they doing real good. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. Have you checked on your sex-deprived wife, Clara, to see if she thinks the same thing? Because I don't think she would agree. So Ryan and Clara get back home. They talk. I'm not listening. Same conversation over and over. And then as the episode is about to go off, we see a small clip of all the girls getting together where Clara is basically going off, honey. She is sick of it. She is horny. She is sex deprived. She is about to drive herself crazy. And she says that she is getting him off every night and she is not getting nothing in return. Now, I don't know what getting him off is and exactly what that entails, but that ain't fair that she ain't getting nothing out of the deal. So Clara, I blame a little bit on you, because if you keep doing it, he's gonna keep taking it. Okay, just stop it, girl. Oh my God, what? Who? Where? When? But anyway, that was the end of the episode. Next week looks to be more arguments. They're looking to be that they're going to actually meet with the experts, Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper. So we'll see what happens, y'all. Oh my God. I'm ready for this season to be done. You hear me? Done. I am so tired of it. And it is just exhausting to sit through these 2 hours and to feel like you don't really accomplish a whole lot. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Again, sorry about my voice. Hopefully I'll be better next week, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.